Hi, I'm Ben. I build Valve for a living. I'm a former land speed racer. I drive an electric car built before they were cool. I drink a little too much beer, and I care about the planet.
Now I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I reckon just about every workshop everywhere has a can of this. Satin black enamel. It's the go-to just to tidy something up, to get it a little bit cleaner, to make it look a little better. But it's also, you use it and you go, geez, that was alright, I guess. Really wasn't up to the job, but it did the job. Now, recently I finished a job here which had a small powder coated black part it needed. Now, it had to be done right, so the part did go back to powder coating, and I waited a week and a half for the part to come back from powder coating, and I did the job right. But it left me thinking there must be possible to do some powder coating just when you need to get out of trouble. Not a replacement for your existing talented powder coater with their tens of thousands of dollars of really good equipment, but good enough to do a satin black part just to make things work a little better and it'll get a job done. Besides being a better result and a better job, the other advantage of powder coating is there's basically no waste. There's no spray can getting thrown out, there's no solvents going out. From an environmental perspective, it's far better if you contain the powder, otherwise you're getting microplastics everywhere, I suppose, but that's pretty easy to contain in the shop. And also, I guess the only emission would just a slight amount of carbon emissions from the oven cooking it. But when you compare that to an enamel paint, way better for the environment, and also a faster turnaround. You can get the whole part done in only an hour or so, and it's actually ready to go onto a job. An evening's viewing on YouTube later, and I realised there were people out there that, frankly, are not as smart as me, that were doing a pretty good job of powder coating. However, in the process, they were wasting half a day and they were covering their workshop in powder and just generally making a mess. Probably not even making it even worth it. They probably would have been better off paying someone to do it. However, the results they were getting from moderately cheap equipment made me think that with a decent workstation, this is actually viable and that I could make a little space to do small satin black parts. I had a spare household oven from my kitchen renovation, and so I opted to buy the parts and equipment that I needed to build this. So this is my DIY little satin black powder coating station, made of a household oven left over from a kitchen renovation, bunch of materials left over from other jobs. Of welded up a steel frame, put some checker plate on it because nothing says quality like some checker plate, and just a cheap powder coating gun and system. The main idea of this is just to make it so that you contain your mess. You can just go over and powder coat something black whenever you need to without having to do a whole bunch of setup and pull down. That's probably one of the main things that I found when I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos on people doing DIY powder coating, is they seemingly just made their whole workshop a horrible mess just to powder coat one or two little parts, which really doesn't achieve a whole lot. You'd be better off just taking the parts to the powder coater and picking them up the next day. So this is just designed so that you can go powder coat that one part to get yourself out of trouble if it's a job is pending on it, rather than having to wait for the turnaround. So the filter at the back here, just to contain the powder, is just a filtration foam, and a ceiling fan also from kitchen reno that I'm still halfway through. Nice and simple, just contains the powder. And just a good quality water trap is probably one thing I did buy. You need stuff all air to powder coat. It's really low air, so just having able to control that and back the air right off was important. And you can see the ground wire can live in there. This is a little shelf bracket that hangs on to the oven shelf, so the idea is you just sort of pull the oven whole shelf out and just put it there, powder coat what you need, and then put it in and bake it. So super simple, and doesn't take up too much space in the workshop. Hopefully contains the mess. So I'm going to fire it up now and see if it actually works. I had a little play with the powder coat gun the other day, and that kind of indicated a lot of the things I needed to make this booster so that it worked a little bit better. So hopefully with everything in its place here, I can actually powder coat a part to an acceptable quality. Let's give it a go. Wow, pretty good. Pretty good coverage. Chuck it in the oven. Okay, so 20-minute bake and hour or so to cool down. Here's the part. Actually pretty happy with that, considering it's really practically my first time powder coating, apart from my little play the other day. I can see that what I've got in front of me is good enough to get good results. I just need to practice the way that the powder basically attracts itself to the part and just getting good flow. A little bit different to spray painting, so just a bit of practice needed there. But overall, I mean, that's a part that I'd be happy to put on a job, which was always the agenda here, so pretty good. Hope this helps, guys. Like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see other projects or whatever hell I'm up to. Cheers.